Hi guys and welcome to the channel. Today we listen to a disturbing, true Reddit story. Sit back, relax, pop on your headphones and enjoy. Story title. My grandmother used to say, there are good spirits and bad spirits. Guess which one I met? Do you ever notice those roadside memorials? The crosses or little shrines that mark where someone tragically lost their life? I passed one on my way home, right where the road curves between two old cypress trees. It's simple, a weathered wooden cross, leaning slightly, with 3 candle stubs in front of it. Their wax has long since hardened into yellow lumps, their flames long gone. It's always a bit haunting, but over time, that cross became a marker of comfort for me. It meant I was almost home. Past that cross, I had about 800 meters to go, then a bridge, and finally the exit to our neighborhood. Just 15 minutes away from the warmth of my wife and our little daughter. Even though there's surely a sad story behind it, the cross had come to symbolize something reassuring for me, a reminder of home. But a small guilt always tugged at me when I drove past it. There, in the middle of someone's grief, I was celebrating the return to my family. One day there was an accident up ahead. Traffic came to a halt, and by pure chance, my car came to a stop directly in front of that cross. For the first time, I could read the name on the memorial. Finn Lebowski. That night, I couldn't shake it. After putting our daughter back to sleep, I sat down at my laptop and Googled the name. Finn was only a few years older than me when he died. The article I found detailed the crash. Finn had been on his way home to his pregnant wife when a car swerved into his lane and hit him head-on. The crash was brutal. His car flipped and slammed into an ancient oak tree. The image in the newspaper of his mangled red car wrapped around that tree made my stomach churn. The other driver survived, but his blood alcohol level was 1.9. He'd been drunk, of course, and yet, despite the facts, the driver had walked away without consequences. A high-priced lawyer found a loophole, and the case was dropped. Finn's story stuck with me. I couldn't stop thinking about his wife, about their unborn child who would never know their father. All of it because some rich, reckless man thought it was okay to drive while drunk. The unfairness gnawed at me for days. Then autumn came, bringing rainstorms and chilling winds. One evening, after a long day at work, I was driving home. My eyelids were heavy and my mind sluggish. But the news that morning had lifted my spirits. My wife was pregnant again, and she was sure this time it was a boy. I was looking forward to getting home and sharing the good news when it happened. Just after the curve near Finn's cross, I saw a figure in the middle of the road. A man, arms flailing, as if trying to signal me. I couldn't react fast enough. My foot slammed on the brakes, but the car started to skid. I felt the tires lose their grip, and for a horrifying moment, I thought I might flip over. My breath caught in my throat, and I braced for impact, but the car finally stopped. The world went silent for a moment, and then I heard the shrill sound of sirens. Flashing blue lights appeared in my rearview mirror. How did the police know what had just happened? Were they just nearby? My hands still trembling, I unbuckled my seatbelt, ready to step out of the car. But before I could, the police car raced past me, followed by several more emergency vehicles. How did the police know I'd almost been in an accident? Or were they just in the area by chance? I unbuckled my seatbelt, ready to step out, when the police car sped past me, followed by 2 fire trucks, an ambulance, and 3 more police cars. The 4th one stopped, and 2 female officers got out. "Are you all right?" the taller one asked. I explained what had happened, and while one officer walked back with a flashlight to look for the man who had been standing in the road, I asked her colleague what was going on. Why were there so many emergency vehicles? "The bridge," she said, turning up her radio. "It collapsed." It took me a few seconds to process what she meant. "The bridge," I murmured. "When?" "Not even 20 minutes ago," she said, then looked at me with a curious expression. "You're lucky that man stopped you. The area isn't secured yet. With this weather, you could have driven straight into the gap." Her colleague returned. "Are you sure you saw someone?" "I walked all the way to the cross, but there's no one there." When the adrenaline wore off, my thoughts became clearer, and then I realized why the man's face had seemed so familiar. I'd seen it before, in the newspaper article about Finn. My grandmother used to say there are good spirits and bad spirits. The bad ones try to drag you into the abyss, and the good ones try to pull you back from it. The next day, I brought fresh flowers to Finn's cross and replaced the old candles. Even now, whenever I drive past that cross, I think about how everything in this world is connected, how friendships can form out of nowhere, how there's so much we can't fully understand about this universe. And I think about how my wife and I both love the name Finn. That's what we named our son. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe. All support is much appreciated. Much love, guys.